Before I start this video today, many of you contact me and ask me who I recommend you buy precious metals from. I will be making a personal purchase Monday morning, and I recommend SD Bullion. I have a link down below. Go to that link. I know they're running some specials right now. I believe if you purchase $99 worth of metals, it's free delivery. I highly recommend SD Bullion. They're awake. I get my deliveries very fast. They have an incredible selection of coins, rounds, sizes, bars, whatever you want. Service has been exceptional. So I recommend SD Bullion. Link down below. Give them a try. I think you will be very, very happy. It's Sunday, June 23rd, 2019. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this video, and make sure you hit the bell notification down below so that you are notified with the newest video. Currently, as I'm making this video, gold is up around $10, silver is up 10 cents. We're continuing to see a run to the precious metals. Precious metal prices have been accelerating now for weeks. And I want to talk a little bit about the importance of precious metals, why I will be purchasing more precious metals myself tomorrow. And here's why. Safety, a protection, a hedge against inflation, and just the uncertainty of things that are happening here in America and across the globe. Here's another reason. If we take a 10-year bond that's earning 2%, a little over 2% currently, and we take the government number of 1.8% of inflation, okay? If you're buying bonds and the government's saying that we have 1.8% inflation here. As we know, it's really about 10 or 12%, but we're going to go with this government figure of 1.8%. You buy a 10-year bond that's earning 2%, a little over 2%. You're basically going to be clearing about 0.25% on your bond after you add in inflation. So your 10-year is paying a little over 2%, but subtract that 1.8% of inflation, and you're earning about 0.25%. Now, if you take real inflation, the real inflation being around 10 or 12%, you are getting destroyed. I mean, who would tie up money for 10 years at a rate that's not even keeping up with inflation? Makes no sense. We look at some numbers here. Since 2015, foreign debt holders have gradually been moving away from T-bill purchases. So who is purchasing all this debt here in America? It is American institutions, and it is you. People here in America are holding massive amounts of debt in these financial institutions, in the stock market, in pension funds, in retirement funds, in their 401ks. Yet more countries are de-dollarizing. They're dumping dollars like Russia and China. They're hoarding and stacking gold. And it's another reason why it is so imperative that you be your own central bank now and de-dollarizing and protecting yourself with precious metals. Now, I have some money in savings, and I'm going to take some of that cash tomorrow morning, and I'm going to just take that fiat currency, that monopoly money, and I'm going to protect myself and buy some more precious metals tomorrow morning, because I feel like my cash money, my fiat currency continues to just devalue sitting where it is. And I would rather not be losing purchasing power, but actually protect my purchasing power against inflation and put it in precious metals and hold real money. So that's my strategy tomorrow morning. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, and apparently what a lot of central banks and what a lot of countries are also doing, getting away from paper, getting away from the dollar, and protecting themselves with hard tangible assets, like the two most undervalued assets in the entire world, gold and silver. I personally believe, even with these small price increases we've seen over the last few weeks, it's still an incredible steal. Central banks last year acquired 651 tons of solid physical gold. And if the central banks are doing this, why aren't you? Most people don't have the inside playbook that the central banks do. Most people aren't smarter than the central bank. So, maybe do as they do and not as they say. They are literally backing up the trucks at these prices right now and stockpiling precious metals, especially gold. Central banks know that treasury yields are probably going to go to zero or even negative. And they are hedging their bets. They know exactly what is coming. They know what's going to happen. In fact, they're going to be the reason why all this happens, okay? So they are stockpiling precious metals. And I believe it's a good idea that all of us at least diversify some part of our portfolio. Again, not giving financial advice, just giving you my thoughts, what I'm doing, but diversifying some of their savings or diversifying some of their investments into precious metals, because right now, these things are on sale. All these asset classes are overvalued, overpriced, except for two, silver and gold. But you have to ask yourself, how long is this going to last? As soon as an event takes place and there is mass panic in these markets, silver is not going to be in the 15s and gold is not going to be in the 14s. I can promise you that. You look at what Jerome Powell said. He said the Fed's primary mission now is to sustain economic expansion. This means to prevent natural market forces from taking hold. This is manipulation. And people will tell me, well, yeah, the metal markets are manipulated. Of course they are. But what happens when this market turns and these banks are holding all this gold and silver? How do you think they're going to manipulate the metals market? They're going to drive these prices into panic mode straight through the ceiling. And when they lose control of these markets, what do you think is going to happen to silver and gold? They're depending on silver and gold. They're using this as a hedge to all these terrible loans and all this debt out there. So the central banks are dependent on the metals to go to the moon because they're hedging their bets with metals. And when they lose control of these markets, I don't think anybody knows how high and how far gold and silver is actually going to go. But I believe there's going to be mass panic, and that panic is going to drive these prices absolutely into outer space. I truly believe that the central banks are going to continue to sucker the masses into these markets. They're going to sucker the masses in with eloquent speeches, low interest rates, printing money, quantitative easing, and in return, we're going to see more wealth inequality. We're going to see more corporate debt. We're going to see more government debt, and we're going to see zero solutions to the problem. And we're going to see massive bubbles. The bubbles are going to have bubbles. That's how this is going to go. And if you are not protecting yourself with something physical, I think you are out of your mind. I think you're taking huge risk here. I think you're playing Russian roulette. I truly believe now is a time to really be holding physical assets, because this is getting so out of control, so scary, so dangerous. And I believe the outcome is going to be horrific. And I truly, truly believe that we are going to see biblical type events unfold economically here in America, which is going to result in some very huge social disruptions in America. So get prepared and diversify. Make sure you're holding something physical, and of course, land that produces food, anything that has water, anything that really has a value to it other than a paper value. People are going to wake up one morning and they're going to look at their retirements, they're going to look at their investments, they're going to look at these money markets, and they're going to be missing zeros. And these paper millionaires are in for a rude awakening one day when they go to their computer screen and find out that the number went like this. It's missing a lot of zeros. One day you're a millionaire and tomorrow you're broke. And if you're not protecting yourself, you're going to be in big trouble. I read a good article today on Zero Hedge. I'm going to kind of paraphrase this because this just reinforces my belief and most of your beliefs out there why you better be holding hard assets. The system does not punish failure, it rewards failure. It rewards slow growth by offering more free money in response. It subsidizes non-performance with a constant safety net. It is the antithesis of free flow of markets as it forces capital into specific asset classes because there is no alternative. It's like when you cannot earn interest on your money, it is forcing people into these risky markets. It's forcing people into risky, exotic investments. And again, people don't have choices, so they're going to the poker table and they're gambling because they're forcing people to gamble their money because there is no alternative, especially with these low rates. As a result, it not only produces capital inefficiency, it promotes them, it extends them, it stifles growth. Do you think 13 trillion in non-yielding debt is a sign of efficient allocation of capital? Do you think it's a sign of a free market? No, it is not. And again, these signs are telling you that you need to protect your wealth. You need to insure your wealth because this, folks, is just the beginning. And we all know what's really happening in the economy. We know that we are witnessing a global slowdown. We're witnessing a slowdown here in manufacturing, in real estate, in auto sales, in retail, you name it. We are witnessing a massive slowdown. Do you not think this is the time to be preparing? Most people should have been preparing a long time ago. But if you do not see the dangers that are right before you right now, I don't know what to tell you. I've never seen America in such dire economic times and dire social times as I'm seeing right now. And this could get very, very ugly. More reasons that you need to be protecting yourself is all this market manipulation, the market rigging. We look at what's happening around the world, what's happening right here. Trade wars, the FBI investigation and problems with James Comey, Mueller, North Korea, impeachment charges, invasion at our border, quantitative tightening, Turkey, Venezuela, sanctions, Iran, the possibility of World War III, 13 trillion global bonds with negative yields, and a massive budget deficit right here in America. Now we could go on again and talk about the auto industry, real estate, the retail apocalypse, the auto sector. All these entities are just collapsing. And we have many, many more problems beyond this. This is just to list a few. But this is just an example of how detached the stock market is from reality. This is telling you that these markets are rigged and highly manipulated. And you have to ask yourself personally, do you feel safe in these markets? I think the US dollar is going to come under attack. I think it's going to be very challenged. And I believe that we are going to witness the biggest stock market collapse in the history of America. As the stock market goes to all-time highs, as we're being told that the economy is doing incredible, I want to talk about something that concerns me, and it's manufacturing. I truly believe that we are, without a doubt, losing the manufacturing war, and that if a country cannot manufacture goods and products and make things, it is not going to be a world superpower. And this is why we are losing our world superpower status. Just think, if we didn't have the world reserve currency right now, this country would be done. You would be literally living in a third world country tomorrow. The first 4 months of 2019, China's crude steel production jumped 10.3% year over year to 315 metric tons. This brings its share to 52.5% of global production, okay? 52.5% of all global production was done by China alone. April alone, China's production soared 12.8% year over year to 85 metric tons, and its share of global production reached 54.2%. That is a world record right there. The U.S., by comparison, was the fourth largest crude steel producer. So we've gone from number 1 to number 4 and falling. We had a 4.7% share of global production over the same 12-month period. So 52.5% versus 4.7%. That is just really concerning. It's really sad to see how far. I mean, we were the world's #1 steel producer, the best steel in the entire world, and we are just getting our clocks cleaned by China. I mean, isn't that just startling to think, like, you know, we were the #1 producer of steel in the world, and now we don't even come. We do less than 10% of what China does. We can't even compete with what China's doing. 52.5% versus 4.7%. That's just startling when you think about it. How is America going to exist when China is just eating our lunch? I mean, how long do we stay a world superpower when China is putting numbers up like this? You think it's not a good idea to be protecting yourself right now? China knows what gold is worth. China knows the value of gold. And that's why every one of you should also. I'm going to wrap this video up. Before I go, I want to just say one more thing. I was at lunch today and I observed some things. I want to share that with each and every one of you. Now, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not criticizing anybody, but I'm just going to talk to you about what I observed and what we can learn from it and what we can do about it. I went to lunch today. I went to Jersey Mike's. It's a sandwich chain. Most of you probably heard of it. And I went to one of the establishments out here in the desert. And as I'm sitting there having my ham sandwich, a small ham sandwich today, I'm observing the clientele that is, coming into the establishment, sitting around me. And I am horrified by what I'm seeing today here in America. The epidemic of obesity. Now, again, I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not criticizing. I am just observing and sharing this with you. We could all be in better shape. I could be in better shape. But I'm witnessing these people coming in, women, 60, 70, 80 pounds overweight, wearing yoga pants. Listen, if you are 60, 80, or 100 pounds overweight, yoga pants do not flatter you. I'm looking at the men, and they are 80 pounds, 100 pounds overweight. I'm looking at these people's children, 10, 12 years old, 40 pounds overweight. And I just see the direction that America is going in. Dumbed down, lazy, obese, slow, and oblivious to what is happening to their country. And again, this is not making fun of anybody. This is really a concern. We could all be in better shape. I could be in better shape. And it really motivates me that, I'm going to go train harder. I'm going to go hit the range. Tomorrow I will be hitting the range. And it just motivates me to run faster, shoot faster, and just perform faster, and just get, just take my time out there and just get a better, more constructive, efficient workout with my time. We'll be posting that. Now, we can't post that on YouTube any longer because they banned that stuff. But you're more than welcome to go to my Facebook account, Jeremiah Babe. We will continue to post range videos up there with a little bit, of what we're doing, a little bit of shooting, a little bit of running and gunning. So you're more than welcome to check that out. But getting back to what I'm saying, we could all get in better shape. But the concerning part of it is most of these people are not going to get in better shape. They've given up. They don't care. They have no pride in their appearance. They don't even care about the health of their children. And it's so concerning to see how people have just checked out and don't care. But it's another reminder that people have checked out. They don't care about what's happening in their country. They don't care about what's happening to their own lives. All they care about is today, eating that giant submarine sandwich, getting bigger, getting slower, getting more dumbed down, and watching more mainstream media and being more dumbed down. I don't want people watching this video to do that. And if you're one of these people right now, you can change that right now. You can start tomorrow and get in better shape. You can cut down eating all this junk food, all this processed food. Maybe clean up your diet a little bit. Maybe go for a walk. Maybe join a gym. Go work out 1-2 days a week. Do something that's productive. Do something with your kids. Be more productive. Care about the health of your kids. But if you die of a heart attack or diabetes because you're 150 pounds overweight, what is that going to do for your kids? I mean, why are people shortening their lifespans and shortening their kids' lifespans? So if you're one of these people, there's no reason to just give up. Start taking some pride in yourself. Get out, get in better shape, be an example to your kids, and live a long life so that you can enjoy your family. So I guess really the moral of the story is don't give up. It's not too late. Unfortunately, most people have already given up and they don't care about themselves. The people wearing pajamas to the restaurant, wearing slippers to the restaurant. My other concern is these people, when this economy crashes, when the EBT shuts down, when things get chaotic out there in the streets, these people don't stand a chance, okay? These are the people dependent on plastic to go buy a sandwich today, putting everything on a credit card, relying on the system, trusting the system, but they continue to get slower, dumber, and bigger. Do the opposite. Get faster, get smarter, get leaner, and get more awake. And you're going to survive anything coming to America. In fact, America depends on you doing that. I want to say one more thing before I go. I believe we are now at a critical point in America where we really need to start worrying more about ourselves than everybody else. And what I mean by that is most people are not listening. Most people are oblivious. Most people are blind to what is happening here in America, especially economically. But they're blind to what's happening politically and socially also. The masses don't care, and they're not going to care until something happens. In the meantime, you need to be caring about you. You need to be caring about your family. You need to be caring about what is coming. We're not going to be able to wake up most people or save most people. The only person you need to be concerned about right now is you. And if you're not prepared to deal with what's coming, you're not going to be able to help your family. You're not going to be able to protect your family. So we need to be more concerned now at this point about us than about them. Have a great week. God bless every one of you. We will talk very, very soon.